Hi, Dr. Scott Beyer here, and today we're going to be talking about a really overlooked cause of vertigo, dizziness, disorientation, and that's what we call cervicogenic vertigo. And this is actually like a chiropractor's best friend. And what cervicogenic means is that it means it stems from the neck, so it stems from the cervical region of our neck. And you know, if you've been to a chiropractor and the chiropractor has adjusted you, and you're one who's had dizziness and this helped, you probably had this. This may have been one of the reasons contributing to your dizziness. A lot of times it's very overlooked. Now when it comes to like dizziness, disorientation and whatnot, to put it in a very broad spectrum, is our body is equipped with hundreds of thousands of different sensors or receptors, and these sensors and receptors are all relaying 24/7 information up to the brain. Now there are certain vital centers in our brain that should be able to interpret that information, and when they can, and when all three of these are sending, you know, the same message and the brain can interpret that, then the brain's happy. What happens is that if one of these is sending an aberrant message, or if the vital centers in the brain can't interpret that, that's when you get things like vertigo, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, those types of things, okay? Now when it comes to the receptors affecting people with cervicogenic vertigo, it's primarily the ones that are found in the belly of our muscles, okay? So in our muscles, as well as our tendons, we are equipped with hundreds of thousands of different sensors, okay? In the belly of our muscles, there are things called muscle spindles, and then more so on the outside, so like right here, there's these things called Golgi tendon organs that detect stretch, okay? So what happens is that we have these here to measure something called proprioception. So if I look away from my arm right now and I move, you know, my forearm closer to my face, there are certain, you know, there are certain sensors in the muscle in my bicep saying, hey, you know, this muscle's contracting. Meanwhile, the tricep is lengthening or relaxing. Therefore, the elbow joint, okay, as well as the forearm, must be moving closer to my face. And this information is being constantly fed up to the brain, not with just the elbow joint, but in every single joint in our spine, in our knees, in our ankles, in our hips. All of that is sending information so we can ambulate and walk and not become dizzy, okay? Well, when it comes to those muscle spindles, they've done research and they found that there are more muscle spindles within the top 2 cervical vertebrae in our neck than the rest of the body combined. And the reason for that being is that when it comes to orienting ourselves in space, a lot of that goes via our head, okay? So a lot of importance goes to where our head is at in relationship to our environment. And we've got this reflex called the righting reflex. So with people with like severe scoliosis, or if you tip babies over, you know, onto their side, what happens is, you know, if you tip a baby over onto their side, they want to try and hold their head a little bit level. Or if somebody has, you know, a curvature, a really nasty curvature in the spine called scoliosis, you know, they don't walk around like this all the time. They straighten their head out to try and keep their eyes level, and that kind of keeps a good set point so our visual input can be accurate, okay? Well, how does our body be able to detect that? Well, some of it is within those first 2 cervical vertebrae. So what happens is that if those first 2 cervical vertebrae become fixated, okay, so they're no longer moving freely or they become misaligned, what happens is now these muscle spindles in the neck are sending aberrant information up to the brain. So the eyes are saying, you know, hey, the head is not moving. The vestibular system is saying, hey, the head's not moving, but the neck is saying something different. And when the brain can't calibrate that, then you become dizzy. So if you've ever been to the chiropractor, you know, and he's adjusted your neck and you felt less dizzy afterwards, well, chances are is that, you know, it was cervicogenically mediated. Now, there's been some people who've been to the chiropractor and had all of that done and they still feel dizzy. Well, that just means that, you know, hey, you know, the problem's not coming from here, it's probably coming from somewhere else. So if you guys, hopefully you guys found this informative. If you guys did, feel free to like our page or look at our event page. You know, we're holding seminars and workshops where we go over, you know, certain conditions and whatnot. Really hope you guys found this informative. Have a wonderful day.